What I'd like to do now is introduce Captain Ken Swigally, who's with the Navy Maritime Civil Affairs Group. And I put your name on the positive. We got it.
It's Swing Shackle. That's
We'll get there.
very nauticus.
We'll get this.
Ryan is so much easier. I just want you to be aware of it.
Like I said, I'm Captain Ken Swing Shackle, and I don't normally say my rank at briefings like this, but I've been called the Colonel a few times today, so I thought I want to emphasize it. But when the 350 has sent the Lieutenant Colonel, or was it a Major aboard the Wasp, I'm sure he was belonged aboard, and Commander of the United States Army arriving, so you understand the services have problems with that. But I was asked by a gentleman in the crowd earlier if I was afraid to be around all the Army folks around here, and I said no. I said, now if this was a month from now, after Navy defeated Army for the 5th straight year, then I'd be a little concerned, but not today. What I'm going to do in this brief is try to take it from high Navy level all the way down to MCAG and attempt to show you where we fit in, the direction the Navy's going with the new maritime strategy that was just published 2 weeks ago. That's online if you're interested at navy.mil. And try to get point out some of the nuances, some of the differences between maritime civil affairs other than the uniform and our platform of operations, but how we're structured and those types of things. I think what you'll see is that we're very similar to what the 95th, the way they're set up and the way they're structured. So a few differences, but if you think about the 95th structure, that's kind of where we fall in line. The maritime strategy, this is a low-res poster that the CNO put out, and you can see the different elements at the bottom. We look at Coast Guard, we look at USNS hospital ships, sailors, boots on the ground, dirt sailors, wearing BDUs and combat boots, along with the aircraft carrier Coast Guard cutter. So this is a joint maritime strategy between Marines, Navy, and Coast Guard. And one of the highlights here is that preventing wars is as important as winning wars for the Navy. And I'm sure it's the same way in the Army, but this is somewhat of a new concept for the Navy. And the expanded core capabilities of maritime power, when you look at them, the first four, forward presence, deterrence, sea control, and power projection, those have been Navy core capabilities, core missions, since we fought the first war on terror against the Barbary pirates off the coast of Tripoli. The next two, maritime security and humanitarian assistance and disaster response, those have been added to this maritime strategy. So the Navy recognizes the need to be able to go in, help capacity building for these developing nations to deter and prevent war rather than have to fight and win the war. Here's a quote at the bottom from the current CNO, Admiral Roughead. Admiral Mullen, who was the previous CO, started this work, is now chairman of the Joint Chiefs, so it resonates all the way up through the chairman. My boss is Admiral Bullard, Rear Admiral. He's in charge of the Navy Expeditionary Combat Command. This command was stood up almost 2 years ago now, and it took a lot of existing units in the Navy that really didn't have a home under the traditional ships, planes, subs. Seabees, one of them. There was Expeditionary Logistics, Combat Camera, the diving, the EOD guys. I'm sorry, here's the EOD guys and the Expeditionary Diving. And then added on some unique other boots on the ground, dirt sailor types of functions. One being Maritime Civil Affairs Group. Another one that kind of led to a synonymous understanding of what NECC is, was the Riverine capability. An agreement between the Commandant and the Marine Corps and the Navy took back the Riverine mission, which it had in Vietnam, and then gave it to the Marine Corps after Vietnam. So that caused quite a few problems, particularly at the congressional level, who gave you authority and permission to do that, but that's been straightened out. But I will point out that the Riverine is the only offensive capability in this force. Everyone else is designed to be defensive in nature. And the Seabees make up the biggest chunk of NACC at about 40%. Also, what's unique about NACC compared to the other Navy forces, it's about 50% reserve. So it has a heavy reserve influence. Our mission and vision, essentially the same as any other civil affairs units. I will point out, though, that we were designed to support the Navy Component Command. That became a pretty big issue with our sourcing, where our sourcing came from, which was brought out of existing billets in the Navy. This wasn't an additional resource package from Congress. This was taken out of HIDE. And so we were designed to support the Navy Component Commander or the Maritime Component Commander of a joint force that was stood up. And our focus is going to be down in here in the Phase Zero stuff. That's where we see most of our effort going, and we think where the Navy wants to use us as we become fully capable. Our value added, primarily for the Navy, but also implied for a joint force, we help to address those Navy regular warfare gaps, and then those two additional expanded core capabilities that I just mentioned, we're at the centerpiece of that. And we're the ones who are going to be able to coordinate those efforts and better understand how to incorporate the NGOs, how to work with the other civil affairs organizations throughout DoD, how to work with State Department, USAID, and be able to exploit those relationships to the fullest. We provide dedicated civil affairs forces for the component commander, and US and CA specialists, which the Navy didn't have. For CA specialists, you either have to rely on the Army or the Marine Corps to provide that. Our functional capabilities, we have the CA CMO planning, and then we have the 16 traditional joint CA functional specialties that we're training to and trying to populate our reserve force to bring those skills from the civil sector into MCAG. But we have 3 additional ones that are unique to the Navy and because of where we're operating, our environment. Commercial port operations, harbor and channel construction, and marine and fisheries resources. The first 2, port operations and harbor and channel construction, we have those skills somewhat resident in the Navy. The marine fisheries and resources doesn't reside anywhere in the Navy. So that we've relied on reaching out to NOAA for one. USAID has some folks doing that. We've looked for the reserve officers and enlisted who would do those types of work in their civilian skills and tried to recruit them into our reserve community. We will eventually have a rapid response capability. I can send a team now in about 4 days, but minus a lot of the equipment that's still in the supply chain. Our training pillar, our training overview, 3-pillar model, civil affairs training. We have, I'm not going to say steal, but we've appropriated the Army Civil Affairs course material that was given to us. And we've modified it to, one, we shortened it up a little bit and then directed it more at that maritime component and to put sailor speak into it as opposed to Army language. We've done that. We set up 3 courses. One's a CA Generalist course. One is a staff and international interagency course to understand how NGOs, how interagency people work, and also general civil affairs knowledge. And then also a staff ops and plans, how someone would plan civil affairs if they were embarked on a ship as part of a JIFMIC staff. We've opened it up to Marines already. We've had several Marines go through, and we're looking at a partnership with the Marine Corps to try to leverage both of our resources to further establish this training curriculum. My long-term goal, and I think this plays right into the direction General Morris wants to go, is if we can't get a joint force, is to look for a joint training solution to this, so that there's one schoolhouse, one ITRO agreement that defines all of this, and we all get trained the same, and then we branch off in our unique areas when the time comes. Cultural, language, regional expertise. Again, we're relying on contracted support for that. We have an agreement with Old Dominion University in Norfolk that they teach cultural competency, which is the basics of culture, why you need culture, and then the specific regional orientation just in time for the teams deployed.